Consumer watchdogs are calling on banks to slash their credit card interest rates in keeping with the cuts to the OCR and other rates. So why aren't the banks doing that? Here with his view is interest.co.nz publisher David Chaston. David, good morning to you.
Good morning, Paul.
And thanks for joining us this morning. Why are the rates so high? I mean, at one end of the spectrum, you've got, BNZ Visa, 22% interest rate.
Yes, rates are high for a number of reasons. The credit crunch is part of the issue. Banks are paying a lot more for their credit, for the funds that support credit cards these days. But also the OCR has been high over the last couple of years, and especially a year ago.
When you have floating interest rates, though, at around high sixes at the moment, and credit card interest at 22%, that's a huge difference.
That is a big difference, but you have to remember that the people who use credit cards and pay interest on a regular basis are sort of a self-selected group for people with credit stress. And as the economy turns, the risks on that group of people are quite high.
So these are high-risk people?
They tend to be high-risk people.
Who we should allow the banks to rip off?
No, I don't think they're ripping them off, to be perfectly frank with you. There are extensive costs here, and it's only in the last 90 days or so that the base rate has come down. And I would expect, and the people calling for rate cuts are probably on the right track, but it's only now that it's really due. And I would expect it to be in the range of 2 to 3% these rates can come down.
All right, so they might come down as low as 18%.
That's right.
I mean, that's still outrageously high, isn't it? What are these extensive costs that you refer to?
Well, first of all, there are high default rates on these cards. And secondly, the way this credit is organised, the banks pay on all the credit and yet charge only on a portion of it. So it shifts towards those who are paying after the 55 free days.
I mean, at the end of the day, though, the banks are hunting these people down and offering them credit in most cases, and in many cases the banks are going to them and asking them if they want their credit increased on the cards.
Yes.
So the banks are asking for this, aren't they?
In some respects that has been true, but we have seen a fall in the credit limits over the last 3 or 4 months. Banks are tightening the criteria quite significantly.
All right, so banks have created this situation and the poor, sorry people who are left using the credit cards are paying for it.
That's right. Well, I think we've got a bigger problem here. The problem is that we tend to be spending more than we're earning. And the new situation, the new world situation, we need to convert that to the other way around, where we save.
So you would not be agreeing with Alan Ballard's advice at the moment, help the retailers out, help the economy?
No, I think the concept of
spending
the whole idea of not saving in this period is wrong. We need to be saving a lot more, and not only that, we need to have the ethic where if you take out a loan, you need to pay it back. For the last 10 years or so, we've taken out a loan and we thought that the right thing to do is to roll it over. And we need to convert that.
All right, some quick advice for people who have credit cards. And I mean, many of them are financially illiterate and maybe they've already tuned out. But it may have come as a shock to them that they could be paying as high as 22% on the credit card. What's some quick advice for people with credit card debt?
Focus on paying it back. Focus on paying it down. It's the most expensive credit you can have. There are other ways to deal with this. Certainly using credit card interest rates is the worst thing you can do to your own pocket.
All right. So if you're in the position to increase your mortgage to pay off the credit card, is that a good idea?
That is, if you're in a position to do that, you should do that.
All right. David, thank you very much for joining us. David Chaston, the publisher of interest.co.nz.